It is a Tuesday afternoon, completely ordinary, until the dashboard warning light flashes red or your phone rings with unexpected news from the doctor. That sudden, sinking feeling in your chest is the universal soundtrack of an unplanned expense, a moment where life demands cash you had not planned to spend. We have all been there, staring at a repair bill or a medical invoice, wondering how this will impact the rent, the groceries, or the credit card balance. But what if that moment of sheer panic could be downgraded to a minor, passing inconvenience? By building a dedicated emergency fund, you are creating a personal financial superpower that protects your money from the unpredictable surprises life inevitably throws your way. Unpacking this concept reveals that an emergency fund is simply a dedicated pool of cash set aside strictly for unforeseen events. It is not an investment account for future vacations, nor is it a checking account for daily expenses. Financial experts define this fund as a specific, highly liquid cash reserve designed to catch you when you fall. When you lose a job, face a sudden medical emergency, or need a critical home repair, this money stands ready. It serves as the foundation of your entire financial house, ensuring that a sudden storm does not wash away the progress you have worked so hard to achieve. The immediate benefit of this cash reserve goes far beyond the dollars and cents sitting in the bank. A well-structured emergency fund acts as a crucial shield against financial shocks, offering security that fundamentally alters how you sleep at night. Instead of relying on high-interest credit cards to bridge the gap during a crisis, you simply transfer the cash, pay the bill, and move forward with your life. You stop living on the edge of disaster, replacing pervasive financial anxiety with a profound, unshakable sense of control over your own destiny. To begin constructing this barrier, your very first target should be a starter fund of $1,000. You do not need to save a massive fortune overnight because trying to do so often leads to burnout and frustration. Look through your current budget, identify small areas where you can trim expenses for just a few weeks, and redirect those funds into a separate savings account. Sell items you no longer use, pick up a temporary side project, or pause a subscription to hit that initial goal quickly. That first $1,000 is the critical buffer that will absorb the vast majority of minor, day-to-day emergencies that typically derail people. Once that initial safety net is firmly in place, you can shift your focus to the broader landscape of your household finances and aim for the ultimate goal of saving 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. This means calculating exactly what it costs to keep your household running at a baseline level, including rent or mortgage, utilities, basic groceries, and essential insurance. You do not need to include dining out, entertainment, or luxury purchases in this calculation, because in a true emergency, those expenses would immediately halt. Multiply that bare-bones monthly number by 3 to 6, depending on the stability of your income and your family size, to find your ultimate target number. Achieving this milestone dramatically impacts your net worth, which is simply the total value of all your assets minus your total liabilities or debts. When you have a fully funded cash reserve, you are no longer forced to take on new liabilities when disaster strikes. Every time you avoid swiping a credit card for an emergency room visit or a broken transmission, you are actively protecting your net worth from dropping. This cash buffer ensures that your financial baseline remains stable, allowing your overall wealth to grow rather than constantly taking 2 steps back for every 1 step forward. Without this protection against surprises, you are left entirely exposed to the vicious cycle of consumer debt. When an unexpected expense hits an empty bank account, the easiest immediate solution is often a credit card, which introduces exorbitant interest rates into your monthly obligations. Suddenly, a $500 repair becomes a persistent financial drain that costs you hundreds more over the ensuing months or years. This compounding debt traps you in a cycle of minimum payments, suffocating your ability to save, invest, or build any meaningful momentum for your future. A common misconception is the belief that you simply do not earn enough money to build a substantial safety net. It is easy to look at a goal of several $1,000s and feel completely defeated before you even begin, assuming that only high-income earners can afford such luxury. But economic principles show us that saving is rarely about the raw size of your paycheck. It is almost entirely about the intentionality of your spending. By ruthlessly prioritizing your savings and treating your emergency fund contribution as a non-negotiable monthly bill, you can steadily build this reserve regardless of your income bracket. Where you choose to store this money is just as important as the act of saving it, because accessibility and growth must be perfectly balanced. You should place your emergency fund in a high-yield savings account, completely separate from your everyday checking account. These specialized accounts are offered by many reputable online banks and provide significantly higher interest rates than traditional brick-and-mortar institutions, while still allowing you to withdraw the money quickly when a crisis occurs. Keeping it in a separate institution creates a slight psychological barrier, ensuring you do not accidentally spend your safety net on a spontaneous weekend getaway. Utilizing a high-yield account is vital because it helps protect your money from inflation, which is the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising, eroding your purchasing power over time. If your cash is stuffed under a mattress or sitting in a traditional account earning zero interest, it is effectively losing value every single day as the cost of living goes up. A high-yield account fights back against this invisible tax, ensuring your emergency dollar retain their strength and are worth just as much when you finally need them years down the road. Inside that high-yield account, your money also benefits from compound interest, the process of earning interest on both the money you have saved and the interest you have already earned. While an emergency fund is not primarily an investment vehicle, the compounding effect in a high-yield environment means your safety net will slowly grow on its own. Over several years, those monthly interest payments add up, automatically expanding your buffer without requiring any additional effort or deposits from you. It is the ultimate passive growth, quietly reinforcing your financial walls while you sleep. Watching that balance steadily climb transforms your relationship with money from one of fear to one of profound empowerment. You will start to notice a distinct shift in your daily life where the ambient stress that used to hover over your financial decisions begins to evaporate. When you know you have 3 to 6 months of expenses sitting safely in the bank, a rumor of layoffs at work or a strange noise coming from your car engine no longer induces a cold sweat, you have bought yourself the ultimate luxury, which is the space and time to make rational, calm decisions during moments of chaos. As you optimize your household finances, you might wonder how to balance building this reserve while simultaneously paying down existing obligations. Financial experts often recommend pausing aggressive debt payoff strategies until you have your initial $1,000 starter fund secured. Once that is in place, you can utilize the debt snowball method, which involves paying off debts from the smallest balance to the largest to gain psychological momentum, while temporarily halting further emergency savings. After your high-interest consumer debt is entirely eliminated, you then redirect all that freed-up cash flow to rapidly finish funding your full 3 to 6 month reserve. The most effective way to guarantee you reach this finish line is to entirely remove human error and willpower from the equation. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your high-yield savings account to occur the exact same day your paycheck arrives. By paying yourself first, you ensure the emergency fund is prioritized before you even have a chance to spend that money on discretionary items. Automation turns the difficult, active choice of saving into a passive, invisible process, virtually guaranteeing your success over time. Consider the profound difference this makes during a major life transition, such as an unexpected period of unemployment. For someone living paycheck to paycheck, a lost job is an immediate, catastrophic emergency that demands desperate measures, often leading to accepting the first terrible job offer that comes along just to survive. But with a fully funded reserve, that same job loss becomes a manageable transition period. You are granted the breathing room to carefully update your resume, network effectively, and hold out for a new position that actually advances your career and matches your worth. This breathing room is the exact moment you transition from merely surviving your financial life to actively building long-term wealth. When your immediate future is secure, your cognitive load lightens, freeing up mental energy to focus on bigger, more ambitious financial goals. You stop looking at the ground directly in front of you, trying to dodge the next pothole, and finally lift your eyes to the horizon. The emergency fund is the bridge that carries you out of the scarcity mindset and delivers you into a world of abundance and strategic planning. With your cash foundation rock solid, you can safely begin exploring broader economic strategies like asset allocation, which is the practice of dividing an investment portfolio among different asset categories such as stocks, bonds, and cash. Your emergency fund represents the critical cash portion of this equation, providing the stability needed to take calculated risks elsewhere. Because you have cash safely tucked away, you can afford to invest in the stock market and practice diversification, spreading your investments around to reduce risk. You will never be forced to sell your long-term investments at a loss during a market downturn just to pay for a broken water heater. Think of your overall financial strategy as a medieval castle, holding all your future wealth, investments, and retirement dreams. The emergency fund is the deep, wide moat surrounding that castle, providing the very first line of defense against invading forces. Before any unexpected expense can breach your walls, raid your investment accounts, or force you to take on debt, it must first cross the moat. A wide, fully filled moat ensures that the castle itself remains completely untouched and secure, allowing your wealth to compound in peace. Building this moat is one of the greatest acts of self-care you can ever perform for your future self and your family. It is a tangible declaration that you refuse to let the unpredictable nature of life dictate your financial well-being or steal your peace of mind. Every dollar you place into that high-yield account is a brick laid in the foundation of your independence. You are no longer a passenger hoping for a smooth ride. You are the driver, fully equipped with a spare tire, ready to handle whatever bumps appear on the road ahead. Your journey to financial resilience begins the moment you decide to take control. Open that high-yield savings account today, even if you can only fund it with $20 to start. Set up your first automatic transfer for your next payday, and commit to finding small margins in your life to reach that initial $1,000 milestone. Protect your money from surprises, build your crucial shield, and step confidently into a future where you dictate the terms of your financial success.